So a little corn for you here on this. Oh, I messed up. Man, I knew I messed up. Blame it on you, Jordan. I'll have to do it. I'll have to do it. I'll have to do it tomorrow. Because last week, because you got to understand, I just took over this thing, so I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants. And last week, I came up with the idea to do the triple play in the 9A, which would be 3 songs, top of the 9 o'clock hour, 3 consecutive songs from one artist. And I did that Friday, and I completely forgot to do it today. So it'll happen tomorrow. It'll happen tomorrow, I promise. We got sidetracked earlier this morning. Songs that haven't aged well. Did you hear that?
I heard y'all talking about that.
Is there a song with COVID-19 that maybe 3 weeks ago you used to listen to, bob your head, and now all of a sudden you're like, yeah, that didn't age well?
Yeah, you know, it's funny, as I was sitting there thinking about that, and the Beatles would be one of them, because we've listened to the Beatles a lot. Like, we watched the movie yesterday, a few nights ago.
My number one was I Want to Hold Your Hand. Yeah. Like, that's out the window.
Yeah. And I danced to that in middle school, I think. Like, I was in show choir, and I think we danced to that song.
It's hilarious. Let's see here. I had some good ones thrown at me this morning from some people you know. You know Tim Boatman.
Yeah.
Tim Boatman threw at me Faith Hill, the song Breathe. I Can Feel You Breathe. Well, okay. Tim, not a bad sense of humor. Jason Hicks, who you also know, yes. Hicks, throws out the Police. It's either the Police or Sting. I think it's the Police. Don't Stand So Close to Me. And he said that could actually be a good instructional song. I thought that was pretty good.
That one might age better than you think.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. It might be actually an instructional song.
That just aged really well all of a sudden.
Yeah. Another one, Sweet Caroline, obviously, got thrown out there. Had some good ones thrown at us today. So from your standpoint, of course, you have 3 kids.
Yep, 3 girls.
And obviously, I would think Blair being of major concern from that standpoint.
Yes, it is. You know, we've talked to Transplant about everything, and they obviously told me, you know, just make sure you clean up very well before you go in the house or touch anything. So your shoes go off outside, clothes straight to the washer most of the time, and, you know, shower and clean up before I sit down and play with them. And obviously, if I somehow showed symptoms, you know, I would obviously want to self-quarantine away from them immediately because she's immune suppressed. But my 7 and 14-year-old, they're having a blast for the most part.
So you and I were talking off air. I'm curious because of the age difference. I understand that they're actually each handling this differently.
Yeah, Blair doesn't know anything's going on. It's just all life as normal.
Yeah.
You know, we aren't doing some therapies and things like that, but she doesn't know what day of the week it is.
Kind of like Bob right now. Bob doesn't know what day of the week it is either.
It's Monday already?
Yeah.
Our 7-year-old asks questions, but other than that, she plays, you know, watches some TV, some YouTube, asks more questions about what's going on, not so much. 14-year-old doesn't know how much more she can handle quarantine.
How are they? Because I am curious about this. Not having kids, and I haven't talked to my nephew TJ, who's 11. Although I think it might be nice to get in a phone call to him during all this to get that 11-year-old perspective. How are the schools handling this? Like, I know schools shut down. I've heard of distance learning from your kids. I mean, well, matter of fact, Southeastern Oklahoma State, from a college perspective, is back in session today. Like, their 2 weeks, their 2-week spring break is up, and it's online learning now for all the students at Southeastern. What have been the steps that you've seen from DISD on this? Because I haven't got to even talk to
We've had
Mr.
teachers,
Meredith.
Yeah, all of the teachers have reached out to us. You know, for my 7-year-old, it's only one teacher. For my 14-year-old, I think we've had multiple teachers, you know, talk to us about what's going on and how they are going to communicate things. But all that's supposed to start on the 6th.
Okay. So you got a little planning.
So the schools are having to plan it too. So I think it's determined how they're going to get work to them, how they're going to turn work in. You know, I honestly, my wife's been taking care of it because I'm at the store all the time, it feels like. I might as well put a cot there, I feel like sometimes.
You got the upstairs. You could build an upstairs loft.
This might be the time for it.
Might be the time for it. from that perspective, like, because this has to be. I mean, we've had you on the show before. I know Bob has. We've done a lot of things together in the past. But I would think that you need to come in here and do something that's not grocery related for just a minute. Has got to be a bit of a break.
It is. I mean, you asked me on Friday about this, and I was like, I don't know yet. And then, Sunday night you text me and then put a little question mark a couple times, and I finally was like, yeah, I'll be there in the morning.
Yeah. Hey, for me, if I don't have some form of communication in here with somebody, then I'm kind of quarantined, okay? I mean, that's how I feel about this. Like, this is like the worst thing for me. It's like I was telling Bob this morning about, what happens with the handshake. Like, the handshake is part of my business. It's what I do in advertising sales. I don't know how to replace the handshake. Like, I'm really kind of wigging about this, and I didn't think about it until Bob said something about it, and now I'm going to be thinking about it for the next 48 hours.
I've talked to my family about it a few times. I really think this could be, honestly, the start of the end of the handshake.
Yeah. Always, like, not you. I mean, you and I, we do our thing, but like your dad, every time I see your dad, it's like, hey, I mean, and now I don't know how I'm going to handle that. Like, Eric Studeville, every time I see Eric, I shake his hand. Now I don't know that I know I'm not going to do it. I just don't know how I'm going to greet people anymore in the business world.
I've been sacking groceries and have someone come up, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. I'm going to shake. I'm like, I can't. I'm touching other people's stuff. You're like, I've been cleaning my hands. I'm not going to shake yours now.
Yeah, exactly. Have you had that? Well, let's play a song or two. We need to get some music in, and then when we come back, we'll touch on some of those moments that you may have noticed yourself doing something that 3 weeks ago you would have never thought you were going to do. So we'll touch on that here in a little bit. Right now, we've got the latest from Fitz and the Tantrums on Texoma's Best Music Mix 96.1.